Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map. This is a via to Rose from Dance of the Soul Tarot, and she has done a beautiful video recently about the Weaver's Oracle, and actually she inspired me to create my own spread with my January Weaver. I know that a lot of us own the Weaver's Oracle and we work with the Weavers regularly. A lot of us have done a yearly spread with the Weavers. So I pulled, for example, a Weaver energy that it's kind of my year energy, but also I pulled one Weaver for each of the months, and this was my January Weaver, number 45 vessel, and she's Shaman Weaver of Oceans. I love that turquoise and different shades of blue that she comes with, and that beautiful bow. And just to tell you how I connected to her. So obviously you have a few different ideas in the book you can draw upon. You got the name, you know which clan she comes from, and so on and so forth. I know that she's a weaver of oceans, and she's from Loom clan, and she's connecting me to the direction of the west, which is also the emotional water kind of element direction, and she weaves the grandmother of drums. I did read her story in the book, and what's interesting with her that she is like a bridge, like a connector, always the turquoise and the Ananda Kanda, also like this bridge between the conscious and emotional self, and the higher and lower chakras, so bridging these worlds. And she is a bridger also, and she knows the nature of a rock, she knows the nature of ocean, of water, and she knows the nature of clouds. So she connects three words. She connects sea, cloud, and stone, and these are like three words in one. And in her vessel, through being a vessel, she teaches you, or she taught me this month how to be aligned and use cauldron and vessel, and how to be a vessel to these three different aspects of myself. She also teaches how to listen to the song that sounds on the surface of the stone, and where air and land abound together. So she's got a lot of this connecting energy, which reminded me a lot of the throat and heart chakras. And she says, don't be confined inside a shape. Wind will constantly sculpt and resculpt your soul. So she also teaches how to shapeshift. And in January, also with the throat chakra, you know, I pay attention to communication and what I kind of brew in my cauldron, what dreams are coming towards me, you know, what kind of becomes more and more important, what would I like to give birth to, what would I like to manifest in alignment with these three words. Rose has given us idea about writing a simple spread that can be used to discover more the energy of your particular weaver. I actually loved what she said, because in the first question in her spread, she said, how can I serve you? And I think we very often forget about that reciprocity of a relationship, of that double-sided relationship. We often think, how can you serve me? What can you teach me? So it's always like this externalizing of that power. And I think the weavers, and that question which Rose posed, how can I serve you, put the ball into our hands. So I love this one. And I actually asked my weaver vessel, after seeing Rose's video, how can I serve you? And I have used the Shining Tribe Tarot cards, and I pulled these three cards. So first I pulled the Nine of Birds, so it's like Nine of Air, and I pulled the Tower, and then I pulled Two of Trees, so like two of stones. And I want to just I walk you through the meanings of these cards, which I wrote down here for myself. So, how can I serve you, vessel, right? So, this is a place of mourning, and this is about expressing again that throat chakra, expressing and being a vessel to loss, to death, to sorrow, to painful emotions. So, vessel definitely is not one of the weavers who is shining away from being a vessel to those emotions that are difficult to express, that create fear, that create stress, that create suffering, like in Nine of Birds, Nine of Air. And these losses have to be felt and expressed. And she teaches me and how I can serve her. It's by not burying those emotions underground, but by not creating tombs of buried emotions, but by allowing them to flow easily. She's got this one little thread connecting all the things she weaves to her ball, where everything is coming together, those three worlds. And vessel, so the ball and our womb is opening, as working on my feelings, on also the vulva symbol here, so promises restoration as a symbol as well. So also I think this weaver promises restoration and renewal when we go through emotional connection and emotionally cleanse and shapeshift. So grief, sadness, empathy for suffering of others. It's like releasing those darker emotions, and don't suppress emotions. This is how I can really serve vessel. She also teaches of no suppression. She wants us to be able to go through these emotions. So this was the first card that I pulled. How can I serve her? Nine of Birds, and there is also an owl. There's a goddess, and yeah, that vulvic kind of like vulvic figure. So that opening and not burying those emotions, even when life is kind of harder and tougher, just opening emotionally. The next card, how can I serve vessel? How can I bring her message to life? Was Tower. And here it was about ecstasy, this dancer. It's quite ecstatic, dancing on the tower. This is about restoring the balance of inner truth and outer experience. So also vessel was like, connecting the stone and the air and the land. So the inner experience and outer experience, how can we bring that together to life? Revelation does not come gently sometimes, and that's also what vessel teaches, that sometimes emotional situations come up to open us up to those revelations. A blue triangle, so this one here, the water sign, points down into the unconscious, so also working with depth of the vessel, with depth of the ball. Don't shy from deep unconscious stuff. Unite three different worlds. Also in this card that came up with three different worlds, like vessel's story. So three states of being: our existence before birth, our life in this world, and our soul after death. So that's also beautiful about how these cards kind of came together with the three worlds and mind, body, spirit, I thought, or, yeah, exactly that, before birth, after birth, and during life on planet. And these ladders are symbols of connecting earth to the sky. So again, this connection, this bridging, she is like a bridge of emotions and mind, spirit and body. Also speech in this card, because 1 and 6 is 7, so Rachel Pollack connected to Chariot, and he carries the quality of human speech, which allows to construct the world and the self masks. And so we know that Tower has to do with our masks as well, the limitations that we build about ourselves, about the world, our kind of precognized or pre-thought ideas that then like stick to us, and that lightning that comes and reveals something truthful about yourself, and then how can you be a vessel to that truth and bring it to the world. So God's speech, the lightning of revelation. So no direct revelation, but this can speak through stories, symbols, images. So also very kind of watery, like the blue triangle, the watery approach, not being too stuck on intellect, but also open up to this world of ocean that comes and goes. There's breath and out breath, in breath and out breath. And then the third card, how can I serve vessel and bring her message into the world? It's quite practical. It's 2 of trees. And this one, on the first glance, you know, you see kind of like this connection to natural world and blessing the setting sun, which is also connecting to the west, right? When the sunset happens. And this 2 of trees connects actually to the Tower card also. Blessed is the mother that has given us shape. And this is written here on the mountains. And in the Tower card, this sentence was symbolizing the second world, I think. So there were these 3 worlds which we're bridging together like vessel, 3 worlds. And this one was also kind of following through into this card. So blessed is the mother who has given us shape. So it's also about this wind and the oceans which take shape of things, shape shift, you know. Water also takes the way of the least resistance. So it's quite interesting. And this is a minor arcana, and it moves from symbols to direct experience. So there's this revelation which might not come so easily. It might be disguised in symbols. Open up to that mystery, allow the mystery to come to us. Do not expect direct answer, but allow that ocean-like, vessel-like, be a vessel to this revelation and then bring it to life into the practical reality. So also this is about shape, physical experience, the wonder of the body, so connecting to the body as well. Connecting through the trees also. Trees is an important symbol here because they create a gate, so it's like initiation, and that gate opens to new experience. So also inviting something new into the world. And I think always when we have Tower and 2 of trees, so maybe there is this revelation and how I can bring it down to earth, how I can be a vessel to that experience. And emphasizing spiritual rather than material values, but connecting to the wisdom of the forefathers, also connecting to the ancestors and connecting to the natural world. Link between our bodies and earth, and also breakthroughs, new beginnings, opening to higher level of awareness. So with vessel, it seems like releasing, you know, not escaping difficult emotions. Being a vessel to these emotions might bring some awakenings and some really it's important that she's the bridge, like she's bridging the worlds, different worlds. And once I allow myself to become that bridge and become the awareness that comes with this direct revelation, then to bring this revelation into the practical reality, like this 2 of trees, and be a vessel to whatever this experience of direct revelation brings with it. And I think for me in January, it had to do with you know, letting go of this kind of need to fulfill my plans. Like I started the 31 days of tarot, but to be honest, at some point I felt like, actually Katie Flowers said this as well, that last year I've done quite a few of similar videos for Ethany's challenge as well. So some of the prompts I'm going to just leave them out, about like packaging the decks and stuff, because I recorded it before, nothing changed here. Also that communication and allowing myself to really feel my emotions, and not to shy from difficult emotions, and not to shy from revelations. And what's very interesting for me is that in January I did learn a lot to allow the mystery come to me. I don't force the answers. I don't force the direct response. straight away, fast, quick. I allowed myself to be more like the vessel, to be more like the ball, to just mingle, shapeshift, work with symbols. I worked with my Artemis image. I worked with my petrified wood that reminds me of her. I was sitting in meditation with some images. I connected a lot to like ancient Greek and Minoan cultures and goddess, and that energy is just like brewing within. I'm still waiting for that ancestral kind of energy to take me on, and I think that's slowly what Vessel is teaching me about. So I love that card and that slowing down and bringing also the revelations down to practical level in my life. I love that little stone that Oya's girl, beautiful Queen Osset, has sent me. That fits that card so well. It's a mermaid stone, so yeah, totally in tune with the vessel card. So thank you again, and I will link below the questions which I would use for a spread. I haven't used it yet, but I will use, because I only used how can I serve you, and that was already like a huge 3-card spread. But I did think the first question would be how can I serve you for the vessel. The second one would be how can I best connect the 3 worlds: stone, cloud, and sea, mind, body, and spirit. Also, how can I become a vessel for your energy in my life? And the fourth question would be about the symbolism of the ball. So what does the symbol of the ball mean for me right now? How can I serve in connection to that symbol? So what does the ball mean for me in my life right now, and what are you teaching me about it? So I will write those questions down, and I think if you have a January weaver, if you invent a spread for your weaver, it would be lovely if you shared. Then each of us could create a spread for the weaver, and then we would have a lot of spreads to work with our weavers, because I'm sure somebody will pull vessel weaver sooner or later, and so on and so forth. So that would be awesome. So thank you for listening, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.